Cheers. Welcome back. For those of you joining me for the first time, my name is David William Pearce, Tantric Conversational Hypnotherapist and Yoga Facilitator. And today, I want to reflect on this week's Elevation Church sermon from Joyce Meyer entitled, Just a Little Bit. It's one of those teachings that felt simple on the surface. Don't compromise, don't complain, don't compare. It's so easy to complain and compare, though, isn't it sometimes? But yet, when we really let it land, it has the power to change so much of our lives. Because so often, it's not the big betrayals that pull us off path, that they can and often do. But it's also the little things. Just a little bit of jealousy, just a little complaint, just a little compromise of what we know is right. And then we wonder, hey buddy, this is Miko. He doesn't want to say anything. And we wonder why our lives start to feel slightly off. So today I want to explore this message through the lens of Tantra and hypnotherapy, and how the smallest threads of our daily life actually weave the fabric of our inner peace. Someone's hungry. It's nearly dinner time. So stick around to the end and I'll share the story of Prem and the golden thread, along with a mantra that can help you come home to yourself through gratitude and sacred discipline. It's all well and good to watch these church sermons, or to listen to this video. There we go. Yeah, buddy, exactly. But unless it really integrates into our being, unless it changes something, then it's just noise. And that's why the mantra practice and the short story have been designed to help integrate effectively and efficiently. So let's get into it. Joyce shared from Numbers 21:4, where the Israelites grew tired of manna, the very food God provided, and began to complain. See you, buddy. She said something that stopped me. God answers prayers, not complaints. And it made me think, how often do I pray for more while quietly resenting what I already have? Maybe you've done this too. You have what you asked for last time, and now you're wanting something beyond that already, and you're lamenting what you already have. How often do we ask for a breakthrough when we're still begrudging the blessing that's already in front of us? From a tantric lens, that's the subtle distortion of maya, the impurity of perception that makes us forget that everything, even what feels ordinary, is divine. Let me share a recent example. The other day, I was feeling off. I'd slept well enough. I'd eaten dinner the night before. I'd watered myself. But something really felt off in the morning when I woke up. I was exhausted for no fathomable reason. There was no reason for it. So I dropped into my dream yoga practice and discovered that I'd actually suppressed a moment of self-expression the evening before. You see, in Tantra, it's said that suffering, or mind-based suffering, is ignorance to the truth of what is. And put another way, we suffer when we don't abide in our truth. Everything is Shakti, energy, even thoughts. And when those thoughts aren't exercised and expressed, they linger in the subtle body, the energy body, and over time can create dis-ease, sometimes even manifesting as physical illness. That's why it's so important to digest those knots of energy, to smooth over those scars and allow life to flow freely through us again. This is why I've followed Dr. Joe Dispenza's work for a while now, and the phenomena that he experiences and that people attest to is because of this. It's something undigested in the body. It's something locked in the mind that impacts the physical expression of the body, the energetic body as well. And when we can remove those barriers and dissolve those knots, it frees us up. In Tantra, it's taught that holiness isn't perfection, it's precision. It's the awareness that everything we say, think, or do vibrates through the whole of who we are. The Yoga Sutra says, and forgive me, my Sanskrit is still in progress, a work in progress. Yama Niyama Asana. Discipline is the ground of embodiment. And that discipline begins not in our rituals, but in our responses, how we meet the micro moments. It's that difference between reaction and response. You react instinctively and say the thing that you then regret, or do you take a moment to really digest what's been expressed and respond from a place of conscious awareness? Joyce's call to pay attention to little things mirrors what Tantra would say are sacred inner observances. When we bring awareness to our tone, our gratitude, our integrity, we invite Shakti, the living intelligence of consciousness, to move through us as order and grace. Even a trace of misalignment can ripple through the energy body, and that the small act of awareness can restore it. So here's an invitation for you this week. Before you complain, pause. Before you compare, breathe. Ask yourself, what am I really weaving? Because every word, every thought, every thank you is a thread in your energetic tapestry. Words are the most powerful tool we've been gifted as human beings. It's the language of God, essentially. Sanskrit is said to be the language of the gods because it reverberates at the frequency of the thing that it points to. That's not necessarily true in English, but still, there's that. In the beginning, the Word was God and was with God. It's the word that distinguishes us from every other species. It's the most powerful thing that we have. And so learning to utilize it effectively becomes our greatest asset. I'll leave more about Sanskrit over here. When we choose gratitude instead of grumbling, integrity instead of indulgence, we strengthen that sacred weave. And this is why this week's mantra, Ādarśa Niyama, Ādarśa Niyama, integrity, discipline, is the mantra that accompanies this teaching and this integration. It's not about being rigid. It's about remembering that order is love made visible. And that's what Prem discovered when one morning he woke to a tug in his chest, a thread so thin it was barely visible. It seemed to pull him towards his old closet, the one with the creaking floor. They hadn't opened it in a while. Just a little bit of clutter had become a quiet avalanche. Inside, an old woman with silver eyes was knitting. "What are you making?" Prem asked. "A life," she said. "It's woven from little things, truth, thanks, reverence. I stitch them in daily." Prem looked at the sweater, frayed with jealousy, loose with complaint. "Can I fix it?" he asked. She smiled and handed him a golden needle. "You don't fix it all at once," she said. "You start with the word, one promise kept, one thank you instead of why me. That's Ādarśa Niyama, integrity, discipline. Stitch by stitch, you come home to yourself." And Prem, smiling softly, began to sew. Take a moment. Let it linger, let it land. See, Prem's unraveling sweater is our inner life. Every tiny complaint or compromise weakens the weave, but every act of gratitude mends it. Numbers 21 reminds us that what we call boring mana is often divine provision. Tantra reminds us that integrity isn't punishment, it's participation in divine order. When you keep your word, bless what you have, and meet each moment with reverence, you're not obeying rules, you're remembering reality. And I know how difficult this is. I know how difficult it can be to lose sight of the thing that you have and focus on the thing that you don't, or focus on the thing that you don't enjoy. Exactly. But when you can focus on what you do have, like the dinner that you just enjoyed, we can let go of the things that we're not enjoying and focus on what we do have. So here's something simple you can try today. Pick one tiny promise you've let slide. Maybe to yourself, maybe to someone else. Keep it quietly. And when you feel that urge to complain, whisper instead, "Thank you." Notice what shifts in your body when you choose gratitude over grumbling. And you'll feel it. A subtle returning home. So thank you, Joyce, for this week's message. A reminder that transformation doesn't start with the big changes, but with the little ones. And if you're watching this and you feel like something in you wants to come back into alignment, you can check out the Aligned Living Collective, a space for integration, or Tantric Conversational Hypnotherapy, and see how that works to digest the emotional knots that keep you stuck in old habits so that you can rewrite the beliefs that hold you back. Because even the smallest shift in consciousness can change everything. You can find the links to all of that in my bio or in the description. And thank you for being here. Remember, remember, the divine is not above you. It's within you. You are the dreamer, awakening within the dream. Cheers.